This episode of DentisTV is brought to you by Apex eZine, dentistry's paperless magazine. And you can earn verifiable CPD points just for reading Apex. Coming up in this episode of DentisTV, we have an interview with Laura Horton and Alun Rees, as well as our usual offerings of 60 seconds of social media and best of the best. So pull up a chair, make yourself a cup of tea, and enjoy the show. As all dental professionals know, a great majority of patients only walk into the dental practice when they have a major toothache and major decay. So it's always important and it's always a challenge to educate the patient community for maintenance and keeping up their oral hygiene, not just when it's very progressed. I recently read the October issue of InStyle magazine, which is a glossy women's magazine, and I was really pleasantly surprised to find an advertorial by GSK's Sensodyne Pro Enamel range. And in there was a Q&A section with Mari Coxon, who is a well-known dental hygienist in the UK. And it was really good information, great content in between the latest gossip and fashion news. And Mari commented, "It's no point having all the latest clobber and a rubbish mouth." And that's very true. And I think it's a really good way to reach the patient community in an advertorial sense. It's not just a bottle of mouthwash with no context. Now, it can be argued that companies like GSK have a substantial advertising budget in order to afford these advertorials, but I think it benefits dentistry in general, because patients will look at these advertorials and come into the practice and say, "Oh, what about this new Pro Enamel range? Tell me a bit more about it." So it promotes dentistry in general, educates the patient community, and I think it's important as dental professionals to know what is out there in the popular media, because patients may have questions for you about that, and then you can start a conversation about your practice and the treatments, the other treatments that it offers. Do you sometimes find yourself at a loss for how to recruit team members that will just fit into your dental practice? Have you thought of expanding your dental team role to include a treatment coordinator? I recently interviewed Alun Rees and Laura Horton about both these subjects and how they can actually work together. So have a look. Hi, I'm Marita, and in today's show I am speaking with Laura Horton, who is a treatment coordinator trainer, and Alun Rees, who is a dental business consultant. Now, Laura, what I wanted to ask you was a little bit about the treatment coordinator role, which is new in the dental practice. And I think from what we've said before and what we've discussed is that the treatment coordinator role is new, and it's not suited to every kind of person. It's, you need to have certain characteristics. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yep, not a problem at all. The main thing about somebody who wants to be a treatment coordinator, or if a dentist is looking to put a treatment coordinator into their practice, is that it's all about the personality of the treatment coordinator. They need to be a people person, someone who doesn't like people, who's antisocial, or would rather sit in an office and work on their own all day, is not the right type of person for this role. So they've really got to have great sort of interpersonal skills and be able to get on well with people, because the main thing about the role is that it's about building relationships with patients. They need to also have good communication skills, but as with anything, skills are something that are taught, and that's what I do a lot of, focusing on the communication skills, asking the right questions, answering them in the right way as well. They need to be a team player. Being a treatment coordinator is not about an individual win, it's a win for the practice, the patient and the team. Leadership, they are guiding the team. They're really pushing the practice forward as regards to the customer service, and it's not just them doing all the hard work. Once the patients come in, what we don't want to do is wow them the first time they come in and thereafter the experience is really negative. We need to keep that consistent. So it's about directing the team to make sure that high standard that they've had right from the beginning stays the same for all the patients, and that is consistent. The treatment coordinator and the dentist, they have to get on like that. Okay, if the treatment coordinator and the dentist don't get on, it's not going to work. They've got to get on, they've got to be able to communicate and also critique each other as they go through these changes and this new role that they're implementing, because the dentist will be doing some changing as well. they're letting go of things, they'll be communicating differently. So they have to be, you know, able to have a good solid relationship with each other. You need to have dental knowledge. You need to be able to explain treatments, not to a great extent, but you need to be able to explain treatments. So knowing the practice, working on the front desk, and the front desk team do a lot of explaining, and dentists don't realise because they're not out on the front desk. And being a nurse as well, it really does help you to take that a little bit further. Okay.
And Alun, from your perspective, you're a dentist, trained as a dentist, you've had your own practices, etc. From your perspective, and as being a Kolbe consultant as well, how can the Kolbe wisdom be applied in highlighting someone who can be a treatment coordinator or TCO in the role, in the team of the practice?
With Kolbe, we're not talking about skills that are learned, we're talking about skills that are instinctive. It's how they behave instinctively. And it is important that the person, first of all, fits into the whole structure of the team. That's what Kolbe is all about. So there's no point in knowing just one individual score without knowing everybody else's score.
And also something you mentioned was that there's no magic score that means, yes, because of this you will be the best TCO in the world. Can you explain a little bit about the point system so people can understand that a little bit better?
Kolbe looks at 4 elements: a fact finder, follow through, quick start, and implementer. Everybody scores differently, and there's no right or wrong score. Now, for instance, you would expect a serial entrepreneur to score very high on quick start, a journalist to score high on fact finder. As you know, yeah. Well, you're very lucky. You have found your dream niche, and not only that, you are right for it. One was looking for a treatment coordinator. You'd want somebody with reasonably high fact find. That way they do want to find out a lot. However, having somebody who scores, say, as high as you do in fact find might not be great, because they then could get wrapped up in detail. They'll want to know more and more and more. You do want somebody who scores well, I think, in implementer. Now, implementer is how people express their ideas. For instance, you looking for a dentist, dentists usually score fairly high in implementer, because they see things in concrete terms. Whereas, again, I'll come to you. You tend to score. You're a 3, so you're great on ideas, but not necessarily good at putting those into concrete shape. So we come back to the treatment coordinator. Follow through I don't think would make too much difference, as long as within your system, within your team, you do have other individuals who score high in follow through, because otherwise, without people doing follow through, you're headless chickens. Everybody has great ideas, and nothing ever gets finished. I would tend to look for somebody fairly low or intermediate in quick start, because otherwise they may well want to go off and do something else.
Okay, well, thanks very much for talking to me about both of these, and I think it's the nice thing about dentistry and the way it's going is that we have these wonderful evolving roles in the team, and I think more and more the treatment coordinator is becoming more important, but also understanding teamwork and the dynamics. And I think Kolbe, personally, because I have taken my index as well, I know it's an excellent tool and very useful. So thank you very much for your time. And now it's over to Rita Zamora for this episode's installment of 60 Seconds of Social Media.
Hi, this is Rita Zamora with your social media marketing tip. Remember, keep the social in social media. And by that I mean, you don't have to post about dentistry all the time. Share with your friends, followers, and fans what you enjoy doing outside of the office, whether it be volunteering, skiing, hiking, or biking, or even what book you currently happen to be enjoying. People want to know about you, your authentic self. So share a bit of your true personality. Remember, some of the most meaningful and powerful conversations that we have with one another are much deeper than small talk. So forget about talking about the weather. Instead, share a bit of your true personality, your authentic self. One of my passions just happens to be hiking, so I'm off for a hike right now. Remember, keep the social in social media. This has been Rita Zamora, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon.
One of the challenges for dental practices is how to market your dental practice in the local media in your area in a memorable way. And this was successfully achieved by a dentist in Sunderland, and his name is Dr. Michael Oliver, and he owns Oliver's Dental Studio. And he recently set up a charity organization that helps a Berber tribe in the east of Morocco who is living in very remote areas and has very little access to medical care but also dental health care. And he did this together with dental business coach Tony Gedge, who runs the Marketing Pirates of Dentistry. As a result, because of these activities and because of an expedition that they are going to undertake very shortly in Morocco to deliver aid to this particular tribe, the local press picked it up in Sunderland and had a fantastic article with a huge picture of Michael Oliver and talking about his activities and its vision for this charitable organization. So he wasn't directly promoting or selling his practice or the treatments that you can find, but gave a little bit of the personal side. And that's very appealing to readers who don't always want to be sold things. And it's certainly great coverage, and I'm sure some of the readers who will need a dentist in the future will think, oh, who is that nice bloke who did that charity aid for the tribe in Morocco? So what have you done recently to promote your practice in an interesting way? We'd love to hear from you. From one dental aid organisation to another, this time serving communities in the Everest region of Nepal. The organisation is called Smile High, and it was started by Julian Hazard, who is an orthodontist originally from New Zealand, who climbed not only Mount Everest but quite a few mountains in the area, and connected with one of the Sherpas and really noticed the healthcare and oral healthcare needs of the communities due to a very high sugar diet, access to things like Coca-Cola and sweets, and that's really deteriorated their oral health in a great way. So he organized Smile High, and since 2003 they've been arranging expeditions to the region with dentists who want to volunteer their time and resources to these communities. Now we have a very special announcement for this episode of DentisTV, that Smile High is having another dental expedition next year, and they're looking for dental volunteers. So if you want to reach out to a community and see this beautiful part of the world, it's a 15-day trek. You need to be quite fit to do it, but from the volunteers that I've interviewed in the past, every one of them have said it's a massively rewarding experience and has really changed their life. Just a bit more detail about the expedition. The logistics are supplied by Mountain Experience with the assistance of Himalayan Experience. So it's a very experienced company that leads the expeditions to this region all the time. You'll be in very safe hands. The expedition also coincides with the 50th anniversary of the opening of the Kumjung School, which was built by Sir Edmund Hillary. And this is a significant opportunity for those who want to contribute something and experience and enjoy the gateway to the Everest region. So if you are interested in this and you'd like to find out more information about Smile High, you can click on the link below. That brings us to the end of episode 4 of DentisTV. Thank you for watching. Coming up in the next show, I interview Chris Barrow, dental coach, about the importance of having holidays, downtime and fun in your life and how that affects your professional success. Then we have a mixed bag of 60 seconds of social media, best of the best and toolbox. Be sure not to miss it. It's on DentisTV.com. I'm Marita, and it's been a pleasure hosting DentisTV, the show that helps dental professionals go from ordinary to extraordinary.